Good evening and welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, Nigerian workers hold colour rallies across the country. Edo State government takes the lead, promises to pay workers 25,000 naira as minimum wage effective May 2016. Federal government says it is aware of the challenges facing the Nigerian worker, promises to tackle them. And Iraq's Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi orders arrest of Shia Muslim activists after raid on parliament in Baghdad. We begin in northern Nigeria, where workers held rallies to celebrate May Day with a call to the government to increase their wages and improve their welfare in line with current economic conditions. Addressing workers in Abuja, the president of the Trade Union Congress, Mr. Boboy Bala Kegama, urged the government to fulfill its electoral promises by improving the lives of Nigerians. In Kano, Kaduna, Plateau and Benue states, workers demanded an increase in their wages to cushion the present socio-economic realities. Our correspondent, Amaka Okafor, reports.
Nigerian workers at the Eagle Square at a rally to celebrate International Workers' Day. The event witnessed the usual march past by different trade unions. Time for spitters, the national president, Trade Union Congress, asked the government to match its words with action to mitigate the increasing economic hardship in the country.
Our proposal of 56,000 is just 4,000 more than the figure we put for negotiation in December 2008, which was 52. This represents our awareness about the prevailing economic situation in the country, and therefore it should be seen that labor is very modest in its demand, looking at the economic challenges and the fact that our currency has been devaluated several times.
The country is bleeding, and there is no pretense about that. He who feels it knows it. The poor masses of this country feel it, and in all spheres, and only very close monitoring only through very close monitoring of the economy, commitment and sincerity of purpose constitute ways out. We must start generating significant increase in the income and development of this country.
The Minister of Labour and Productivity, who represented President Muhammadu Buhari, appealed to the workers to exercise patience, saying government is working to ensure a better life for all Nigerians.
I assure you, great Nigerian workers, that this administration is able and willing to constructively handle the challenges you have mentioned. This administration shall effect positive change in the lives of average Nigerians to ensure that the downtrodden are elevated.
In Kaduna State, workers called on both the state and federal government to address some of the socio-economic challenges facing the country.
18,000 minimum wage is a problem when it is long overdue for review. So we are calling on government to increase the minimum wage at least to 100,000.
In Kano State, Governor Abdullahi Ganduje assured workers that the newly established Salary and Wages Directorate is part of the efforts to ensure transparent salary administration for the state civil servants. Although the workers commended Governor Ganduje's civil service initiatives, they disagreed with some policies they consider injurious to workers.
Creation and successful takeoff of Salary and Wages Directorate under the office of the head of service to articulate, implement and sustain effective, transparent salary administration for the state workforce.
In Plateau State, workers want an improvement in the conditions of service and increase in wages. According to them, only an increment in wages can cushion the effect of the harsh economic conditions.
The minimum wage is due for reviewing, is due for upgrading, and for the
In Benue State, civil servants asked the government to access another round of financial bailout from the federal government to pay their outstanding 4-month salary arrears.
We are appealing that the bailout should come. If bailout can sustain us until God visits us, it's not a bad thing.
For its first Workers' Day rally in 5 years, workers in Borno State rolled out the drones under heavy security. Demands have been made and promises have been given. It remains to be seen if these demands and promises will be kept before the next May Day celebrations. Amaka Okafu, Channels Television News.
Staying with the May Day celebrations, our correspondent Chris Lems tells us that it was a colorful display by civil servants in Lagos, Edo, Cross River, Ogun and Oyo states as they held rallies in their respective capitals. Leaders of labor unions, including the Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress, spoke to workers on the need to uphold the values that guide their conduct as professionals in their disciplines. The leaders also called on federal and state authorities to improve welfare packages while resolving persisting socio-economic challenges.
Traffic almost at a standstill in Surulere as workers took to the street en route under the bridge by the National Stadium in Surulere, where a factional group of the labor union held this year's rally. Various placards were on display expressing their agitations, and the leadership spoke on the theme, inclusive socio-economic space for sustainable development.
This captures the mood of Nigerian workers and indeed the peoples of the world who have been excluded from the global socio-economic space, who have been reduced to mere spectators and who have suffered and continue to suffer badly as a result.
In Edo State, workers from various unions came out en masse at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium to mark the day. And when it was time for the governor to address them, his words gave them reasons to smile.
In Edo State, we have eliminated ghost workers. There are no ghosts anymore in this state. Just like there is no more Mami water near teacher's house. The least worker in Edo State, we will increase the salary from 80,000 to 25,000.
Meanwhile, in Oyo State, the hardship being experienced by the workers as a result of unpaid salaries cast a glooming shadow over the celebration amidst the clamor for a 56,000 naira minimum wage. The state head of service had a word of advice for them.
Labour movements must therefore be more concerned with the evolution of plans and programs that could be implemented in the affected states of the Federation, most especially in the area of improved internally generated revenue to turn the situation around.
In Cross River State, while some workers gathered at the UJ Swene Stadium to commemorate the day, members of the Nigeria Union of Teachers celebrated theirs with lots of merriment across major streets in Calabar metropolis. This the state chairman attributed to a lingering problem between the state labor union and the NUT.
They were wrong to try to exert their illegal power by suspending us. So they suspended us as a union. We also suspended them.
The story was not different in Osun State, where parallel groups of the labor union marked the day as separate venues in Osogbo. Meanwhile, the governor in his message assured the workers that the hard days would soon be over.
I want to assure you all that the worst is over and we shall be out of the woods very, very soon.
In Ogun State, Governor Ibikunle Amosu joined members of the state workforce at the Moshood Abiola International Stadium. The governor applauded their efforts while suing for more cooperation.
We shall continue to provide an enabling environment for our workforce to perform optimally. On this note, let me appeal to all our workers to continue to be reliable partners in progress, as we equally pray to get over the present financial crunch.
Besides Ondo State, where the day appeared to have been forgotten by the workers, other states including Delta, Anambra, Abia also marked the day with great expectations, but the coming days would afford them better opportunities.
Meanwhile, workers want authorities to improve remuneration so they can be more dedicated to their services.
This year's celebration marks the 130th anniversary of the day known worldwide as International Workers' Day. Traditionally, the workforce in Nigeria marks the day with parades. For the average worker in Nigeria, a lot has happened between the last May Day and this one. Insecurity, job uncertainty and unemployment, as well as the effect of the dwindling economy, are some of the issues the workers have to contend with. It's a situation they want the new administration of President Muhammadu Buhari and the state governments to address.
They should intensify effort on the security of this nation, and they should try as much as possible to revive the economy of this nation that for now is sick.
Governments must connect back to the people. Government must make sure the economic activities bounce back. Government must make sure that Nigerians do not live in darkness again. Government must make sure Nigerians do not pay for NEPA, electricity they did not consume. And government must make sure that fuel is available across the entire breadth of this country.
More pertinent are those issues that affect their welfare, especially with the present economic realities.
Pay us our salaries as are when due. Pay us our allowances as are when due. Make the civil service work.
The of 18 minimum wage to some government, to some local governments area has not yet been implemented, especially Askra Uba, Hawul, Biu, and Chibok. Therefore, there's no problem that's insurmountable to the government. Government need to do something about them.
They have made their demands, but what are these workers willing to give to improve the country's economy?
Workers have been contributing all along. Are you with me now? Right from the time we got our independence, workers have been doing their very best, to help in the governance of this nation.
We've always mobilized our people because a stable environment cannot be shortchanged for anything, cannot be changed for anything. We need a stable, the security is good, the environment is good for us.
Well said, but beyond the rhetorics, workers, as they have for years, are still expecting that one day the earth will truly become their paradise.
Solidarity forever for the union.
In part two, after the break, more on May Day celebrations will be joined by the Deputy National President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Peter Adeyemi, to join us again.